and the pipe burst and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the area that I'm in. So
Oh yeah, did you get to the part where you find out they're all, or I don't know if I'm spoiling ahead, but the hallucination part yet?
I haven't. I got up to chapter 15, so it's like right after she finally hit. Was it Junlaji Ah or something like that? Whatever his name
his
is.
name is long. So
Oh yeah, yeah, I know his name's really long, and he's got that stand, that like perfect sniper stand.
Right. Yeah, I got up to the point where like she throws the net over him and like finally lands a punch on him, and then that's where I hopped on here. Literally just finished reading that part.
yeah, but no, this this chapter like not even the chapter, but this part of JoJo just feels completely different
Mm-hmm.
to the rest of them. Like not even just the setting, just every character just seems to have a little bit crazy in them.
Right. Yeah. It
So
definitely is like really cool character wise. I mean, Guess was really well, she was insane.
Oh yeah,
she's insane. I was gonna talk about her in this episode too. 'Cause-
what I like about this is that you can tell it's like a prison. Like all of them kind of deserve, or except maybe Jolene, all kind of deserve to be there to some extent. Like a lot of the other prisoners, Jolene's the only one who like kind of got screwed over a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and they find out that she's was definitely a juvenile delinquent herself, and she's been committing crimes since she was 14. Not like super heavy duty crimes, but just like just like teenager degenerate type crimes.
Right. Yeah, I feel like they really touch upon kind of like the stereotypes too, where she kind of like looks like a gangbanger type dude or girl, and like they use that to like persuade the jury or whatever to get her the sentence.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's funny is Billie Eilish actually completely copied her style, like completely. Like
That's
there's
she.
like if you look up Billie Eilish, Jolene Cujo, one hundred
The right.
percent copied her style, like 100%.
Right. Oh, what's up, One Punch Man?
What's up, One Punch Man? What's up, Max Crap out in my chat?
Yeah, we got Saitama in the chats again.
Oh yeah.
so Saitama.
Okay, Gemma. What's up, Genma?
Okay, Jenma, what's up, man? Yeah, the art style in this is pretty because the JoJo's art style changes a lot throughout the parts, and this one's because I read a little bit of Golden Wind
Yeah.
manga, and this one is a lot like Golden Wind, and this manga are very similar in their art style. Like I wouldn't say it's too much different than Golden Wind compared to Diamonds Unbreakable or Part Eight or Part One or Two. Like those art styles are a lot different. Like this is a lot. I was reading this. I was like, yeah, this is like a little bit improved compared to Golden Wind's art style.
Right. Yeah, I think the coloring too. Like I've never read a colored manga before. It's so unique, and it like especially being a JoJo's manga, like all the color concepts was always something that I thought was like very unique to JoJo's. So seeing it like in the drawn like original format, but like having it colored is really unique.
Yeah, it almost feels kind of more like an American comic sort of
Yeah.
with how it's drawn. And there's a lot of colored mangas that I've read or kind of anime mangas. They kind of just feel like you're reading the anime like One Piece or other ones.
Right. I've never actually read an American comic. I have Watchmen. I got in my last haul that my wife bought me, but I haven't read it yet.
I highly recommend you start reading The Boys. I think you'd really like The Boys.
I've watched it. That's the Amazon show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the show is actually pretty cool.
It is
yeah,
like just the most messed up version of like American superhero. And what I love about it is how like the bad guys are kind of actually the good guys, and the superheroes. Like, there's a few good superheroes, but most of them are just pure evil. Like
Right.
Homelander is just the worst human being alive.
Right.
what is it about?
Oh, the boys. It's about these group of the boys are like this group of kind of criminals. Are kind of misunderstood criminals. They're not like necessarily really good, but they're not evil, but they're still human. And then there's these.
Right.
There's like a knockoff Superman, knockoff Shazam, Aquaman. There's Starlight, and it was like a knockoff Wonder Woman, sort of. And
Right.
they're just so fucked up. Like all of them are just significantly more horrible than the actual so-called bad guys. Like there's like the knockoff Superman Homelander is just a complete sociopath. Like he just kills people all the time, and like seems like the actor who plays him in the show is really good too. Like he
Mm.
just seems like everyone thinks he's such a great person, but like all the superheroes such horribly messed up individuals. And Wonder Woman or Eve, she's like Homelander basically has just destroyed her life and just made her depressed, made her into an alcoholic, and I think made her into a lesbian too. I think like in the earlier comic and stuff,
Right.
something like that. He just like ruins her life, and she just hates him so much. But he's so powerful, like no one can take him down. And he's like kind of the ringleader of like all the superheroes, like the Justice League. And he just like it just even like the good characters in the superheroes all just have like such messed up pasts, and they're just such horribly broken individuals, and they're just and they make like the bad guys just are so normal in comparison to them.
Right. I like how they really take like the kind of approach too, where it's like what would happen if somebody actually had this much strength or this much speed. And like there's a scene where like the guy that kind of is supposed to be like the makeshift Flash, he's like super fast, he literally just runs through people and they just like
Yeah,
blow
they
up.
explode. Like you take those powers, he just kills people. And then Homelander, like there's moments like the plane scene where there's times where he could actually save like tons of people's lives, but he's just too lazy or doesn't feel like doing it. And then like
Hmm.
Eve or like one of the other heroes will be like, I want to save their lives, and then he'll just like threaten their lives and be like, don't tell anyone about this or anything, and just mess them up so much mentally because they want to save these people, but Homelander just doesn't, even though he could.
Right, yeah, he just wants the persona of being like a superhero, but he doesn't want to do any of the work.
No, not at all.
But yeah, no, I watched that actually on my honeymoon with my wife. We like had one day where we just relaxed and binged watched The Boys.
Yeah. No, and the comics even more fucked up too. Like,
Right, I didn't know it was a comic.
yeah, and that plane scene, yeah, it was originally a comic. The plane scene that you saw, that was originally released on 9/11.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah,
You know what's
made it
ironic?
even more messed up.
You know what's ironic? Speaking of superheroes and stuff like in comics, me and my friends were literally like prior to this live stream, we were like literally just talking about what like comic character is stronger than the other, and
Hmm.
we were comparing Marvel versus DC and stuff like that, which is this is I find it kind of funny that now that I had that conversation, we're talking about comics and characters and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's really funny.
It was reminds me of Death Battle where they pose like superheroes against anime characters or Marvel and DC characters against each other.
Right. Dude, there was one of my buddies is really into DC comics, and like me being like a weeboo, I had never really watched or read much of the like American comics other than, I watched like the Avengers and stuff like that. But I watched some of the DC like animated movies with him, and they actually get pretty badass. Like I watched one that was like the Flashpoint paradox or something like that, and it's like Flash runs around the world or something, and like it like puts them in like an alternate universe, and like there's like all these anti-heroes, and like all the heroes just start killing each other, and it gets pretty fucking nuts.
Oh, you should watch what the Doomsday movie. Oh my god, that is the most messed up
Really.
superhero movie of all time. Or something Doomsday. It has like all the superheroes and just almost everyone. Like it makes Infinity War just seem like pussy shit. Like it's just so violent, and all these like so many people die, and all these superheroes die, and just I was like not expecting to watch like such a brutal movie. Like even read other animes I've seen, like this was like really up there.
Right. Yeah, it seems like Marvel is kind of like more PG when it comes to that stuff, and DC is like edgy as fuck.
Oh, and very edgy. Or if you watch the Harley Quinn show, which I think is actually one of my favorite animated shows of all time, they did so good with the Harley Quinn show. It's like the South Park of like comic shows. Like
Really
it's hilarious. Like it's so vulgar and just it does not hold back. It's just hilarious.
interesting. Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a. Is it like on Adult Swim or was it on a like
HBO. I think it's on
HBO?
HBO or Amazon or some other streaming service.
Oh shit, I did not know that. That sounds interesting because I watched the what is it? The one that was really good, like the Killing Joke or something.
Oh, Killing
That
Joke.
was
That
really
was
good.
really good.
That was really good.
Yeah, but now let's go back to
Let's
Stone Ocean.
get back to
So
the
you guys,
topic.
speaking of Stone Free, since I guess you guys have seen
Yo,
it.
yeah. Now that we've seen Stone Free, like yo, it is not what I expected it to look like at all.
Right.
And the way Stone Free came to be, like the way Stone Free got its form was just crazy. And like I feel like this part of JoJo's a lot more graphic. Maybe it's just because it's the manga, but I feel like it's more graphic than the other parts of JoJo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, like when she was getting larger, you can kind of see her body parts like getting, you know, trapped in the bars, and I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Right.
And but no, I'm honestly enjoying. Like, I felt like I wanted to read past the 15 chapters,
I
but
did
I
too.
feel
I
like
just didn't have
because of
time.
that mark, I feel like I had to stop there. But I wanted to know what was gonna happen so bad.
You should. Oh my gosh, now it gets so much better. Like it's
Mm.
so long too. Like I'm not even done with it. And I've been reading this on my downtime at work, and I'm still not finished with it.
Right. I didn't know you said when you said 110, like you're on chapter 110. I was like, Jesus, how? I thought this was like an arc. I didn't realize it was like its own series in a way.
It's the longest part to JoJo so far.
Really?
Like it is
Okay.
freaking long.
Right. Stone Free though, like I feel like I still haven't really understood or like seen the extent of what it can do.
Well, mhm.
Like it's I mean when we see it like make like the 3D form, I was like, okay, so it has like a physical form. It can actually be like, a physical like 2 meter range kind of stand like most of the Joe stars are, but it also now has like a long range option, which we haven't really seen with any of the Joe stars yet, which is kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like this part, like not even just with Jolene, I feel like this part, um, stand users have more than one form of their stand. Like they can use, like for Jolene, for example, she can use um her hand to use her stand, and she has the actual physical form for her stand.
Right.
And guess she doesn't need the stand to shrink you, but the stand also has a physical form. So I feel like it's. I feel like stands are going to be a lot more complicated in this part than they
Right.
were prior.
Oh yeah, very very technical. Especially well, one of my favorite stands you're about to see, the Foo Fighters stand. That one is very
Ooh,
technical.
Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters, yeah, that one is that's pretty a pretty brutal chapter too when you get to it as well. But that's a very difficult one to explain. And on top of that, it's actually its own. It's on its own free will. It's not actually a person who has a stand. It's actually a stand going on its own free
Oh,
will.
really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm curious about this kid. Like, what is the relevance of this kid that is like running around in an adult prison?
You
Right.
will see. He's a trippy character. That's all I have to say. Like it's just trippy. His existence in there and just getting to know more about it. It just trips me out.
So he's not a stand. He's an actual human being.
No, he's not a stand user. You'll see.
Okay.
Right, yeah, because I thought he was like a stan or something at first. I was like, I didn't think he was a real person because he was kind of just like disappearing and like coming out of nowhere. And then then like in this last chapter we just read where they're like fighting, it's like, okay, he actually is a physical being.
Yeah, this chapter you'll get to find or in this part. There's a lot of things that happen in this part that or in this prison that of course would never happen in any other prison because there's all this other crap that's just going under everyone's nose in the prison.
Right.
All the hiding in the people there. That's insane. But yeah, there's this other guy, this stand called Diver Down, which is I
See,
think is probably one of my favorite stands of all time.
see you later, K Gemma. He's going to bed. Oh, he wants to know. He just said, Eric, how excited are you for Gretzko season 4?
Very fucking excited. I hope they release it maybe sometime next year or the year before. I have high hopes for it. I was kind of pissed off that they were actually planning on ending it there. I had made a little video about that because I was legitimately mad that they were just gonna fucking end it right there. But apparently the
Mm,
fans and Netflix wanted more, so they're like, "Oh shit, now we have to do something about this." And
right.
I don't know. Now my hopes are kind of like they might make something that, or I think they'll make something that some people will like and some people will hate. Like they're just gonna do something to fuck with our feelings even more.
Right.
Because after knowing that they would do that, I'm like, okay, now I really don't trust these guys. Like they do not care about our feelings.
We just want that high to pie.
I just want a fucking hyena panda. I want a crossbreed. I want fucking chimeras. I want it to be like B stars, and I want some freaking animal hybrids.
A Gretzko hybrids.
Yeah, they don't explain because everyone in that show, no one fucking like everyone's interspecies dating. I've never seen like barely barely any couples that are the same species. Like everyone's like dating different species from each
Right.
other. Like, can they have kids or like how does this work? Like, I want them to explain that more. I want hybrids.
Right. No, well, the stork, it just comes and drops off the babies.
Maybe that's why sex isn't relevant in that show. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, they don't have to have sex.
Yeah, man. They imply it.
They just get drawn. You just will a baby into being.
Yeah, they didn't make sex irrelevant in that show because the furries would go nuts if they did.
Right. But um what is the guy's what is the sniper dude's stand's name? Zonglani Ah, I think is his name.
That's a very I don't remember that because he's not in it for too much longer.
Right.
But like
It made it seem like he was gonna be this big
Yeah, I thought
like
he was the big
right.
protagonist.
I thought he was gonna be like the main bad guy. He like plotted all this stuff. Is like he's the one that he's in jail purposely and like
there is a much bigger bad guy. And this guy has probably one of the most OP stands. Like
really.
this stand you're gonna see him in like two chapters, but White Snake, another band
Ooh.
reference.
Right.
Yeah, no, that is a very very OP stand. Like
Right.
especially towards the ending, like what he can do with it. I don't know how many too many spoilers I can give out, but
Right.
yeah, very very OP stand.
But yeah, I mean, but they really made it seem like this guy was going to be like the cream of the crop. I mean, like he had all this plotting and all this planning just to like have one fight.
It's a good fight. It's a very good few sets of chapters,
Hmm.
but there's even more crazier, more technical, well thought out bad guys coming up, and heroes too as well. Like
Right.
especially when you see that Ivor down, that's a really good one. And oh my god, this guy you're about to see this dude like he's probably I would say I compared to any character in any anime, any manga I've ever read. He is the most effeminate looking dude I've ever seen in any JoJo's part. Like he makes like Devalo look like I don't know, but they have this thing like he has like the most feminine outfit ever. He has a skirt like fishnet, like
Really.
pink hair, like a hat, like the Darling in the Franxx kind of like ears.
Oh,
And
man.
but he has like a really like masculine body. He's like pretty freaking jacked, even like comparatively to like the other ones. Like,
Mm.
but just looks like pink lipstick, and it just
I mean, even the guard, like the last guard that we saw, the one that like kind of like smashes her hands with and like
That was
hits
a
her.
girl.
I thought it was a girl too, but I was like, it was a guy. So they really.
you should see. You got to see this dude. Dude, he takes the cake. Like even Foo Fighters, like no one even questions it in JoJo's too. Like everyone else just is like, no, it doesn't say anything about it. It's like it's normal. And then the only character that questions it is Foo Fighters. Like the full time Foo Fighters is like, that's a guy.
Right.
Like the only character that questions it. Like Foo Fighters is like one of the most like sensible characters, and they're not even like a human.
I mean,
Like
they definitely blur the lines.
yeah, well, Foo Fighter doesn't fit in as he can steal people's bodies and use them to like it's to be a human and like walk around and stuff.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
How far do you think you guys how far do you want to read for the next episode? Kind of. I feel like I might want to read a little bit past what 12 chapters, 13 chapters.
right. I mean, I'm fine with reading a decent amount since all of like the shows we're kind of watching right now are taking like a week break. Like we have, I mean, there's really nothing to watch until the 10th.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, you can binge it pretty well. I mean, it's really long, but I mean, at work, I was able to binge like 30 chapters.
Right.
I'm watching an anime that K Genma begged me to watch.
Really.
It's called I actually have it on my TV here. It's like Tonikawa Over the Moon for You, and like it's about these two people that get married in like the first episode, second episode.
Mm-hmm.
He because he knows I like romance anime, so he like begged me to watch because we were on a Discord call and we were just talking for all like an hour, and yeah, I'm honestly loving this anime. Like I fell in love with the first episode.
You fell in love with it.
That was my yeah, I fell in love. Yeah.
My suggestion, I guess, definitely read more of Stone Ocean, but I think we should watch The Wolf Child. I really highly recommend that one. It's a very high rated anime movie, and it's also total furry debate too, but it's really really good. Like everyone loves this. Like a very very high rated movie.
Right. I
Did you?
think you talked about it last time.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
watched it over on Discord. I kind of want to watch it again just to brush up more on it because I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. But
Uh,
it's
Where is it on?
it's on. I forgot which streaming website. I had to like my friend pirated it and we just watched it on Discord. But it's you would really like it, Noel. It's like one of those. It gets you in the feels kind of romance animes, like but done very very well.
mhm.
And it has wolves too,
It has wolves.
which just makes it awesome just because of that.
That's always a plus. Yeah.
I love the wolves.
So what do you guys think of Jujutsu Kaisen so far?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I hate where they ended off the end. I'm not sure if I hope they didn't end the season.
No, they didn't. It's coming back in like the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right. I was gonna say I feel like they kind of have to do like that 26 episode, kind of
Yeah.
like Demon Slayer style thing where they do like one long season, maybe a movie, and then another long season. Because I think where is it ending, or like where are we at so far? I've watched up to like episode 10 of the anime so far.
We just passed like the fight between the soul. Like I forgot, I keep forgetting his name. The guy with
Mahito,
the more souls.
Mahito,
Yeah,
Mahito.
Yeah,
Mahito. Okay, yeah. So Mahito like Nanami and Yuji that fight.
yeah, that fight. It just ended. So
Right.
I feel like it's like the worst place they could have possibly ended.
I feel like they'll end the season at the like the games like Tokyo, Kyoto, inter-school game.
If I'm not mistaken, in the chat in the manga, it's at what like chapter 31, chapter 30,
I think so. I think it's around there. I don't quite remember.
and I'm on like chapter 70. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna pick it back up because now that I'm reading JoJo, I have a kind of like a flow of reading manga now. Because
Mm,
before I used to read manga more, often, but since I dropped manga, I didn't drop it, but I left it, alone,
yeah.
and I got out of the habit of reading it. So now that I'm reading JoJo now, I'm getting in the habit of reading manga again. I'm finding it more enjoyable than I did before,
Right.
and I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna have to binge that slow flashback of Jujutsu Kaisen.
See, I feel like they could almost do a movie of that.
I
Like,
feel like that's what they have to do because I feel
right.
like the season will be so slow and people are
Right.
just not gonna enjoy it. Kind of like the second season of Attack on Titan, but it was necessary.
Right. Like I mean it would be kind of like what Demon Slayer's doing, like they have like a long season that kind of fits perfectly with what they have in the beginning of the manga. Then they have like a portion of the manga where it's a little bit shorter of an arc, so it's like kind of fits like a nice hour to 2 hour movie nicely instead of like having a full season and then they come back right in and it's at like another hot point in the manga.
Speaking of Demon Slayer, doesn't the movie come out this month?
Does it? I hope.
I'm positive. I'm 90% positive it does.
I hope
And
because it's supposed to be freaking amazing, and I don't doubt it for a
Oh
second.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure didn't it break Japan's record
I think
of
so.
sales in a movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was like approaching Miyazaki, like the Studio Ghibli level
I
as
think you
far.
might have. I'm pretty sure. I'm positive it passed it.
Really?
If that's the case, we gotta get on that the moment that movie drops, man.
Right.
But I would say, who's your favorite character so far? Your favorite character?
I think you know who mine is. You haven't. Oh, you have seen him in the anime now.
Yeah. I think Gojo might be my
Yeah,
favorite.
I mean
Yeah.
that's easy. But other than Gojo, because I feel like Gojo's everybody's like number one favorite
Right.
character.
My favorite's Toto.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Toto too. 'Cause, like after you see Toto like not act like an asshole to
Hmm.
Yuji and everybody else, and you just like how can you hate him?
Right.
Because I'm not gonna spoil anything for Harry.
And even further, like when you get to the Shibuya arc, like Toto is so sick.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
is it?
Yeah. There's been an argument recently. People have been trying to compare Gojo and Kakashi together.
Really? I think I choose I like Gojo more than Kakashi, honestly.
There was a Chad meme about it. There was a freaking. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, it's the version of Kakashi, the Chad Gojo.
Right.
I know somebody that said they prefer Kakashi over Gojo, and I'm just like, why?
I mean, Itachi, that's close.
Yeah, Tachi's
That's close to like the superb, fandom of the two. Because Gojo, I think, is gonna go down as like one of those characters that everybody just loves.
Yeah, no, he is like the definition of senpai. Like
Right, right.
Character design too. Like his character design is so crisp
Uh huh.
and clean. You can't hate like his eyes. Like you would think because he's blind, his eyes would be like white, but they're not white. They're like a crystal blue kind of. And his white hair goes perfect with the blind look. He's literally the opposite of Kakashi. Kakashi has like a face what do you call it? Like a face mask, and uh, Gojo has the blindfold instead.
Wait, is he blind?
I'm pretty sure he's not. Yeah.
I thought he wore the blindfold because he has the super vision, like he like takes in too much information, so he does that to kind of like conceal some of it.
yeah.
Because he has six eyes, which is like his special technique.
Yeah. Gojo would win a fight against Kakashi too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
There's not even a fight.
Yeah.
Not even a fight. I mean,
Gojo's just too OP.
closest person.
Gojo is so okay.
I feel like the only person that really have a chance against Gojo, that would be like Sasuke or Naruto.
What about my boy Hashirama?
I don't think so, man.
He's the god of shinobi. Come on.
He is, but literally Naruto and Sasuke have god power.
Well, technically, Hashirama and Madara are also ancestor. They have inherited.
They can get it.
They just haven't.
They were given it by
Right.
Shades of the past, though.
Right. They weren't given it, but they can be given it.
Yeah. Exactly. If the situation were to happen, then it could happen.
Right. Right.
Current time where Hashirama doesn't have the same six path powers,
Right.
Naruto and Sasuke are strong. But we're not gonna get into that because we're gonna get heated.
I think what we need to talk about is the outro of Jujutsu Kaisen because that is so smooth.
Yeah, that whole dance.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the beginning of Grease. Like he's just taking the hair, he's in like the mirror, he's like just doing all the dances.
Jujutsu Kaisen. I showed one of my friends that series when she was hanging out at my house or whatever. But she hates anime. She's told me she's like, I do not really care for anime. I'm just like, and there was a new episode of Jujutsu Kaisen on. I'm just like, can we just try this one? Like, come on. And she's like, okay, yeah. And she actually loved it. She was like, I actually want to watch more of this series. And she's like, never liked anime. She never liked Naruto
Right.
or anything. I played this one, and she's like, I like this one a lot more because like she actually liked how fucked up it is and just how more it just leaves you wanting more and more, and just like how it just gets progressively just worse and worse. Like I don't know, it's kind of like Attack on Titan in that sense, where everything just keeps somehow getting worse.
Right.
No, I don't think anything will be able to top Attack on Titan in terms of
Just pure fucked up
leaving
them.
the viewers waiting and craving because that second season wait was ridiculous. It was like what 3 years, 4 years.
The second wait, no, it came out. I think it came out like 2013, the first season, right, or something.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
3 years later or something like that.
Right. I didn't even start watching Attack on Titan until it was getting into season 3, so I didn't have to wait.
Must be nice. I watched the first season as it dropped, and I thought the next season. I literally typed in after I finished the first season. When is the second season of Attack on Titan coming out? And it said next year. And then it turns out they postponed it, and then that release date got postponed again.
Right.
And it was infuriating. Like,
oh
right.
my gosh, I remember when Attack on Titan was coming out in the first episode, and the first 2-3 episodes were coming out, and I just pirated them online. My friend would just show me. He's like, "Yeah, check out this anime. It's getting released in Japan like week by week or whatever, but it's so cool." And he showed, I think it was like 2014 or something. He showed me Attack on Titan, or it was like 2014, 2013 was showing me Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was put off by Attack on Titan for the longest time because I just like looking at the pictures in that first season. I was just like, what are all these giant naked things running around? It just looks so weird. And I just never even gave it a shot. And then I finally was like, fuck it. Everybody loves it. I'm going to watch it.
do it, man.
And then I was sold.
I feel like Attack on Titan is arguably the anime of the century.
of the
It
decade.
kind of is. I don't know. My thing is like when I see something weird that people probably like the typical viewer isn't going to like, it usually draws me to it and I want to watch it more.
Hmm.
Because that's usually how you find like the most hidden gems or the best shows, in my opinion, at least.
Right. I mean, that's Chainsaw Man for me, man. Like when I started reading that, it was like at chapter like 20 or 30, I think. And now it's like it's I think it's going to be huge, especially now that it's getting an anime. That's going to be so huge. Have you guys tried reading it at all?
Mm-mm. I just had somebody
Highly, highly recommend. Honestly, like equal, if not better at times than Jujutsu Kaisen.
okay. I had somebody come to me on Discord and they private messaged me asking me if I watched if I read this manga called Opus by Satoshi Kon. It's the same
Mm,
author of Perfect Blue
mm-hmm.
and what else? In Paranoia Agent, and he's
Oh yeah.
also his other manga works with Tropic of the Sea or the Apartment Horror. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of it.
I haven't seen. I haven't. Are they all movies, like anime
No,
movies?
the Apartment Horror and Tropic of the Sea are manga, and Paranoia Agent and as you guys know, Perfect Blue
Yeah,
are both
Have you
movies.
seen Paranoia Agent?
I
No,
haven't.
none.
Ooh, I actually watched that back when I think I was in the sixth or seventh. No, I was in the fifth grade when that came out. Fifth, sixth grade, and I was watching that with my friend.
Okay, so is it good or
I think it's very, very good. I think it's like so underrated. And that was like one of the first animes. That's when I started watching anime on Adult Swim when I was like in the fourth grade, and then I was watching like Big O, Inuyasha, Paranoid Agent when it came out, and then a few
Bobo,
other
Bobo,
shows,
Bo.
Full Metal. I was on Cartoon Network, and then
Yeah,
Full Metal Alchemist.
yeah. So, Paranoid Agent is a like a series. It's not a movie.
a movie?
It's a series,
It's a
yeah. It's a
series.
psychological thriller.
Those are my favorite. So maybe we watch that at some point.
Oh yeah,
Okay. I feel like this. I might just pick it up because I feel like if it's by the author that made Perfect Blue, I'm gonna absolutely love it. You know.
Yeah, you
oh
can
yeah,
just
it's very
tell.
good.
You can just tell sometimes that like anything that's the authors produce at that point is just gonna be fire.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially if it's like in that anime form. I don't think Paranoid Agent didn't even have a manga or anything. It just was an anime.
Uh huh.
I find that animes that are mangas or start off as mangas first, like mangas can be a little back and forth because there's mangas that are really like they're superb for like a while and then they hit a point maybe towards the ending or something where you feel like the writer's being pushed too hard to start
Mm.
releasing chapters and the quality of it just goes down. And sometimes that reflects in the anime. I find that like animes that didn't have previous manga releases, there's like a different vibe to it. Like they actually got to spend more time there and get to write it and flesh things out a little better.
I
Right.
feel like I feel like Kimetsu no Yaiba did that like exactly what you said. Like it was amazing through majority of the manga, and then towards as it like towards the end, it hit a point where it didn't feel as good as the rest of the chapters. Like, do you know what I mean, Connor? Or
I agree. I think they kind of did it in a different way where like she started getting pressured by like the shonen community and whatnot, and instead of just like completely sacrificing the whole series and just sticking it out and like making it longer and longer and longer, she's like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna end it.
Oh yeah, and the publishing company too also decides a lot of things, whether to end it or whether to do something new or do something different to change it up
Hmm.
with the audience. And I think
Right.
that's what happened with the ending towards B Stars, with
Right.
that ending just disappointed the shit out of me. At least like the last 30, 20 chapters were like I feel like it just got too much pressure from the
Right.
publishing company, from Shonen and other sources, and then just decided to end it and kind of I don't know, maybe waned it a little bit towards the ending because it was supposed to end earlier. Or I don't know. It really sucked.
Right.
But
That's why
yeah,
I've been starting to like try to read more series that aren't like published by Shonen Jump. Like I've been reading like obviously Berserk is by like Hakunsha or something like that. But they I mean clearly they're not pressuring him to publish stuff that often, as it goes on hiatus often. But the benefit of allowing something to go on hiatus like that, I think, allows a better series. Like if they're not getting pressured to come up with stuff, then it allows them to like actually create the plot and continue the story the way they would like. Whereas, stuff like,
definitely.
no, I feel like they pressure the wrong people because they need to pressure Togashi to
Right.
writing another chapter. Like,
I don't know if it'll ever finish, honestly.
you don't think he's
He,
gonna finish it?
this is my prediction. My prediction for Hunter x Hunter. You're hearing it first from a Hunter x Hunter degenerate himself. I
Degenerate.
think Hunter x Hunter, he's going to end it with them just never making it to the Dark Continent. I think that so much shit is just going to happen as they're sailing there that they're never going to land. That's my prediction. Because I think he opened up a Pandora's box into the Dark Continent and it's going to be too much. He's not going to be able to create a story that's going to be able to end properly, you know, in a allotted time frame that he would like. So it's just going to not happen. They're just not going to make it there.
That's true because essentially what you do with the Chimera Ant arc, he has to do this with the Dark Continent arc too, or at least do something on par with that, and that's just gonna take so much
Right.
effort and oh my gosh.
Right. Like if he makes them get to the if they land on the Dark Continent arc, it's going to be at least 100 chapters
Yeah.
with
Did
like
he ever release? Did they ever release why he went on hiatus, or people just assumed
he's had health issues.
health issues?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is why he kind of went on hiatus at first, and then he kind of like came back on his own terms and like made chapters here and there, and then he just kind of like progressively gotten worse.
How old is he? Do you know how old
He's
he
in the
is?
50s, like mid to late
Yeah, he's in
50s.
his 50s.
Yeah. Well, he started early. You got to think like he had Yu Yu Hakusho, which was like early 90s, 94 around there, but he also had another series. I think it was like Planet E or something like that, or Perfect E. I can't remember exactly what it's called. That was like a shorter series that was like 90 or 91. So he's been around for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the amount of work mangakas are put through
Mm,
also has a big factor on like on his health because
right.
they like some like, truthfully speaking, some mangakas have to have a separate apartment than their actual house because they wake up, go to their studio, go to sleep, wake up, go to the studio, and
Hmm.
like it's brutal, and they get paid pennies a chapter, so
Right.
it sucks.
Yeah, I watched a couple videos that was actually like the life of a mangaka, and they like went through and documented it, and it's literally like they wake up, they go into their studio room if it's in their house or their studio, they sit on a computer, draw, and then they have like a couple other like assistants that are drawing other stuff and sending it to them, and they're kind of doing like the
That's a
final
big
approval.
deal.
Yeah, but there's people like Togashi who are so protective of their works where they don't want anybody to do
Does
anything.
Togashi work by himself completely?
I mean he may have some assistants doing some stuff, but I read that he likes to do all of his own illustrations and he likes to have complete control over his story.
That's brutal.
Right. And you know like how much pressure these shonen series have. He's had two that are arguably like top series of their decades. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I give it to Togashi, man. Like, have you guys watched Bakuman or no?
no.
No. So it's an anime about or manga about literally mangakas like up, upcoming mangakas
Hmm.
who want to be the best mangakas, and it's really good. I recommend it.
I've heard of it. I've seen the manga, but I haven't like watched or read it myself.
Yeah. But so it's kind of like you need somebody to push you up and not you can't allow yourself to do that. You can't allow yourself to do because there's stress, there's fatigue that comes with all of it.
Hmm.
And working by yourself is just literally like knocking on death's door because
Right.
like Tokyo Ghoul, for example, Kaneki's mom, she was always working, 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 and what happened in the end.
Right.
So it just it sucks, man. It sucks because Togashi was extremely talented.
Right.
So
I kind of wish like I love all of like his artwork and his stories, but I kind of hope that he just like keeps complete story and like narrative to himself and just like allows some people to help him do the illustrations because I mean, I can understand the want to do it all yourself when you created this from scratch and it's like your ideal, but I can also see clearly the health benefit or health, factors that can weigh into that.
Okay, definitely.
But
Well, Japan has a huge thing with being a workaholic state. Like a lot of the people there just work like ridiculous hours and aren't able
Yeah.
to like have a life outside of work.
Right.
That's one reason why, um, like for example, like in Japan, like face masks or something before even coronavirus, because when they got sick, they can't afford to get other people sick,
Right.
so they always wear a face mask if they're sick, and they'll still have to work,
Right.
because it's a working country. Like nobody, like a sick day is unheard of,
Right.
and you can't leave until the boss leaves. So
Right.
it's just like it's a fucked up hierarchy system that they have.
It seems like that's why it's so hard to like relocate there too. Like I was watching the Trash Taste podcast and they're saying that you're a YouTuber, like you make videos, you're a content creator. They like view that as not like a real job. Even if you have like 2 million subscribers.
They don't.
Oh yeah, and to move to Japan, well, Japan's really hard to move there too because Japan's an ethno state. Like they won't let like anyone go, like hardly anyone move there stay for any period of time. That's why
Mm,
it's all like there's not much immigration or of any at all.
right. Yeah, my friend that's going to college there, he like it's very even more so with the pandemic. It seems like he can't really like just come back home and go. I mean, obviously there's not really world travel right now, but even before like the visa system there seemed very strict.
Yeah, up until recently, they didn't allow even students to enter the country. Like there was this point in time where they didn't allow anybody but Japanese to allow into the country, and
Mm,
they got into some trouble with the UN because they were being, I forgot the term that they used, but basically they were being um, racist to or discriminating other countries because they were not Japanese. So they have to drop the that whole rule that only Japanese people or people of Japanese descent can enter Japan. So if
right.
you're a resident, if you're working in Japan, if you are a student in Japan, then you can only enter Japan. But nobody else can enter Japan.
Really.
Yeah, Japanese does that. They have a culture, especially like older Japanese folk have a history of being like very, very racist, more so than like younger people. It's like they have a weird type of discrimination there. Also in Japan, there's not very much discrimination towards gay men, but towards lesbian, it's like there's a lot of like discrimination for women being gay,
Huh.
like versus men. Like it's very strange in that sense.
Yeah,
That's why
and
you don't really hear as much with that in like other like mangas and other things about like women being gay or having lesbian. Like it's there, but it's not like nearly as prevalent as men.
Right.
if you were to go to like even the tattoos, man, they're so old fashioned. Like if Eric were to go into Japan right now, they would like stare at him like he's Yakuza or something.
They would fucking stare at me too because I'm like twice as tall as all of them.
Right.
I couldn't imagine going to Japan because like I guarantee like it's rare to even find someone there that's 6 foot. And I'd be like 6'6", so like I would just like tower over everyone. I don't even know if I'd be able to like get inside like most
Right.
shops or doors there.
but
I want to go so bad.
but since we haven't touched base on it yet, but since you caught up to Attack on Titan yet, since now you're caught up to Attack on Titan, can we talk about how that bandaged man was Kruger, and the one that basically um, was the owl, traitor in Aaron's father's time.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about that? And then the old man next to him was apparently Aaron's grandfather. You know, I'm not sure if you guys picked that up, but
Wait, so what are you what are you
okay,
asking?
okay. So basically, can we discuss okay? Can we discuss how like those characters that we expected not to be like anyone really
Mm.
ended up being
Ah,
significant
right.
characters in the show, and
Yeah.
how they tried to sneak that into the episode without literally like without giving the slightest of
Right.
hints.
And then like the last word is like Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I kind of had a feeling that it was Aaron. Like, it kind of had like an appearance, I thought, that resembled him, other than like the long hair. Like, just the eye. Like, what I noticed that kind of made me think it was Aaron was the eyes, because he had like the blue tint to it that like he gets when he uses the founding titan. And it also, it's a kind of prediction of mine as well. You could see like the was it House Tybris or Tyrus, the other ruling house there that controls the Hammerhead Titan.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, one of
He also had blue in his eyes. So I think somehow, since they are like connected through the founding titan, I think somehow Aaron was controlling him to release the information that they were talking, because you know how like the episode ended with him releasing the situation that they were in, that they lost the war and whatnot. I think that's Aaron infiltrating the Marlians or whatever you call them.
yeah.
That's my prediction anyway, but I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I just want to know how he lost his leg. Like, what happened?
I mean, I don't think that was. I don't think that was the right Aaron you're thinking about. I think that was Kruger, the owl, the guy that what's his name, released. Basically, how do I say? So Aaron's father, right?
Hmm.
Remember how he was looking for the guy that was undercover,
Yeah.
and basically he saved Aaron's father's life because he killed that the I forgot what his name was, but the king or whatever he was, the officer.
Right.
But I think that's the Aaron. Then I think
Well,
that's
he died.
that's who
Remember,
it was.
he died at
Did
the
he
end.
die?
Yeah, because he had the founding titan, and then Aaron's dad took it and brought it to whatever Paradise Island or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Because he was the original founding titan. That's why he it was like the owl. He was trying to get the founding titan out of the Marlians' control.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So
Wow.
he died, and also technically they only last 10 years once you take one
That's
of the
true.
titans. So he
He
would
could have
have
been
been
gone
dead.
before.
Right. So I'm pretty sure that is like Aaron Yeager, like the actual Aaron.
Yeah, but then what happened?
Right. I guess we're gonna have to see when the time skip happens.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. You just blew my mind with that explanation, kind of. Cause
Right.
I didn't even think that
Right.
actually.
Yeah. No, because he was the original founding titan. Remember, and like
Mm.
he was the one that explained it all to Aaron's
Yeah.
dad.
And who was that old guy next to him? Because I'm pretty sure he was basically saying how his son left to what do you call it? The uh left made a new
Outside of
family basically.
right outside of the game. I think that is Aaron's grandfather,
Okay.
because that was the one that is like, was it Zeke? Is he the Beast Titan? Right.
Yeah, Zeke is
I
the Beast
think
Titan.
that's Zeke's, or maybe that's Zeke's grand. So maybe it's Aaron's great grandfather. Maybe, I'm not really positive about him,
I'm
but
kind of confusing, man. I feel like you gotta decipher
it
everything.
is. I mean,
At
that's
least in this season, you gotta decipher everything that's
that's
going
kind
on.
of what I like, though. I like that they're like making it unclear, so everybody's like kind of freaking out. They're like, "Wait, what if it's this and what if it's that?" And then it's like once the information's finally dropped, it's gonna be like, "Holy shit!"
Man, mind-boggling, mind-fucking shit going on this season, man.
Yeah.
But I love him, man. How can you hate? I don't understand anybody that hates Attack on Titan. I never will because Attack on Titan.
Are there
I,
people
I,
out there that actually hate Attack on Titan, or
I I'm pretty sure there are
I mean, there
because
have to be a few, but
I'm sure there are some that just say they hate it just cause.
just to be hipsters and
Right.
rebellious.
Right. I mean, even people that don't like gore and like stuff like that, like Orange Spades, one of my buddies that I talk to on here every so often, he says he doesn't really like gore or anything, and I recommended him to try Attack on Titan. I was like, there's definitely gore in it, but I mean, the story is just amazing, and he even loved it. So
Honestly,
it's
even
hard, yeah.
even the episode where they showed Reiner and Berthold's background and stuff like that, and when they came to the walls and stuff like that, like they showed a side that we've never seen before, and it kind of like opened our eyes to what they went through, during their youth,
Hmm.
and how they were stripped from their childhood to basically kill people that they're supposed to hate. And Reiner went through some kind of split personality.
Stockholm syndrome, yeah.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome, because he ended up being like thinking them as actual friends.
Right.
He was supposed to hate them. So even like Berthold realized that, and he didn't want to say anything. That's why he always made that face. When
Right.
Reiner, transformed in front of Eren, like everything just falls into place with Attack on Titan. You like
Right.
you really have to like build everything like it's a like they're blocks, and that's what I love because it's a puzzle.
Hmm.
Attack on Titan is a big puzzle.
It is. It is sick. Dude, I have a question for you guys. So I found when I was manga shopping the other day in my manga shopping video, I found a series called Attack on Titan Before the Fall. Have you guys heard of that?
I have heard of Attack on Titan before the fall.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that before. And I guess it's a series that has 17 volumes and it takes place, I think it's like 15 or some 17 years or something before the fall of the wall, before Bertolt and the armored titan like broke through Walmeria and whatnot. I never knew that was a thing.
So does it take place with Eren's father? Like who does it
I
take?
think it's completely new characters. It looked like it was a bunch of people that were currently in the scout regiment. I don't know. I really have no idea anything about it, but there was like some guy with long blonde hair that was like flying around with the swords and whatnot. That had like I think he had the scout uniform on.
It's not the what is he? It's not the commander, right?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Right. I don't think it has a manga either or anime. I think it's just manga right now. But I kind of want to read it because it seems pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I feel like that's something we should definitely read.
Right.
Um,
I think it's somebody else doing the series. I think the creator of Attack on Titan has like a say in it and kind of oversees it, but I don't think he's personally
so it's like
like
Dragon Ball GT kind of.
right or kind of like what Baruto was before
Okay.
the main mangaka like kind of
Yeah. Okay.
took it over. But
I have
also,
no idea.
all right, have you guys seen the side series for Attack on Titan that takes place of like how Levi entered the Scouts?
Mm-mm.
I haven't
Oh,
actually.
you should watch those. I watched those a couple months
Like two
ago.
episodes.
It's like a
Is it what, three
three.
episodes?
Yeah, there's like a three episodes. I think it's like kind of like a movie that they broke up into a couple episodes, and it takes place of like Levi when he was like living in the underground, and how he got out to like the main city, and how he like joined the Scouts and whatnot.
What's his name? What is his name? Something the Ripper. Levi's uncle,
The Kenny.
Kenny the
Yeah.
Ripper. Like, is he in the episodes or no?
Not so much him now. It's
Okay.
more so Commander Irwing.
Okay. I feel like I wish Kenny the Ripper was in it because I find him. Yeah, I think he's a really fucking cool character.
He is really
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. No,
I want to see more of him.
right.
What service is this on?
I
For
watched
show?
it online. I just looked it up online somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was called, but if you just look up like the Attack on Titan like Levi backstory, you'll be able to find it. But it kind of all touches upon how there was like this dynamic where the like underground cities, like the impoverished people living underground, aren't allowed to see the surface. Like there's guards and there's like all these stairs that separate it, so they're technically not allowed to come out from the underground. And a lot of the people like never see the day of light. They just live their whole life down there, and he's part of like the Ackermans, which can't be controlled by the king, by the Titan's powers. So he, they're supposed to be kind of like eradicated. So it's all about like him getting out of there. Basically, it was really
That
cool.
sounds really interesting because I did want to see some more backstory on Levi, and I was kind
Yeah,
of surprised that they didn't have it, but I guess they do. So,
yeah, it's really good. And so, the last episode's super fucked up, super depressing, but
ooh, sounds
highly
right up my alley. I'll have to
right,
watch it.
highly
That's right
recommend.
up my alley.
Yeah.
All right. Hmm. You guys have any other anime you guys want to talk about, or
Nah, I think that
Uh,
that's good for me. I think you guys should both watch those because it's only like three episodes, and we should talk about that next
okay?
time.
No, definitely. I would definitely like get on that
Yeah.
later today or tomorrow. But I'm so glad we don't have to edit these podcasts anymore, man. Like it just saves so much time.
I,
oh yeah, no, this is so much more efficient.
right. I like it too because it's more real. I feel like when you're
Oh,
editing it,
definitely.
it's like, well, I guess I never really edited all of it. I kind of just like cut.
Hmm.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, no, the streaming's fun because you get live engagement with people.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, well, this is the episode. What? This was 22, right?
22.
Yeah.
Hope you guys, enjoyed our, live stream of this episode, and to be a part of the conversation and share your opinions, what you thought about some of the topics that we discussed. And we'll catch you guys next Monday, right, guys? Or
Next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday, and we're gonna do what the Levi backstory, more Stone Ocean.
story.
More Stone Ocean. We'll get the
How
new
far are we
next
getting into
episode.
Stone Ocean?
We'll just kind of play it by ear, I suppose. At least another 15.
Yeah,
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah.
15 is fine. So that's like in real manga style. That's like 30 chapters.
Right. Yeah, that's like a whole volume or two.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna do this anime adaptation without having to have a bazillion episodes.
Yeah, it's so damn long, man.
It's gonna have probably like
And the way they
50,
break it up is
55.
so confusing. Like it's like part 1, 2, 3, and then part 1, 2, 3 again, and like, it's weird.
Right. Instead of chapters, it's parts. Yeah.
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 But on manga next, it does say the chapter name next to the to JoJo, so that's convenient.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, so we're gonna read. We're gonna read 15 more chapters of JoJo. I watched the Levi backstory. I want to check out that Attack on Titan
Before the fall.
Before the fall, right?
Yeah, it seems cool. I haven't really looked into it too much yet, though.
Okay, but if I see something, I'm gonna kind of bring it up if I do end up reading it. So
Cool.
all right, y'all. I'm in my stream.
Cool. Until next time.
Next time.
Peace.
Peace out.
All right. Oh, I just dipped.
Yeah.